further out into space.
Whole world in telegraph and telephone and radio and television. The day need not be far away when such a system will televise the proceedings of this body to every corner of the world for the benefit of peace.
It lays the predicate and the foundation for the development of a weather satellite that will permit man to determine the world's cloud layer and ultimately to control the weather, and he who controls the weather will control the world. And he who controls the weather will control the world.
Originally approached me in 1984 to find a use for the natural gas on the North Slope of Alaska, which they could not sell. To give you a feel for how much gas they asked me to find an application for, it was enough gas to produce all the electricity in the United States for a full year. I originated some ideas for military applications and unofficial civilian applications. Applications discussed in the patents included destroying missiles. Communications control and disruption were included. There were some other ideas both to possibly modify weather and finally to lift a portion of the upper atmosphere further out into space. I chose what's called a phased array antenna for the patents because it can be aimed. Picture holding your microwave oven in your hands with the door open. Then you can move it around and send those microwaves different directions. And for these applications where I wanted precise control of where the power was, I felt that was the best type of antenna to use. And that is the kind that HAARP has built.
HAARP can paint designs in the sky, if you will. You know, it can take the beam and move it in any pattern that the scientist who's doing the experiment might want to do.
Good evening, guys. Let's see if you hear me, if you can see my camera. This is my new office or studio, however you want to call it. Haven't worked that much on decorations, but it's a nice, cozy space. Let's wait until we have a few more folks online so we can start. Perfect. Well, it was a rough beginning today, as it was last attempt. I don't know what's going on with Rumble Studios, but they're driving me crazy. And I already sent them an email complaining. Let's see. How do we do this? Hello, Debbie. How is Denver? Ginger snap. Great. Well, first of all, I do want to start with a message, because I guess when these things are happening, things like what we're seeing now in North Carolina, Tennessee, South Carolina, Florida now with Milton, is the kind of thing that tends to bring people together. So it is now where the political divide becomes more crucial for the powers that be, because when these tragedies happen, when you see your fellow people homeless, losing their business, losing everything they have, losing their lives, is when people start coming together. Um, in this case, to do what the government it's avoiding to do. It's more complicated than it seems. Um, I have a source. This is a person I've met all my life. And obviously, for security reasons, it is crucial that I protect this person's identity. I won't reveal any clues as to who this person is. This is nobody else's business. But the information that she has shared, it's critical. Now, bear in mind, this is a person that it's apolitical. This is a person that doesn't really, she doesn't, this person doesn't care who you're going to vote for. Um, you could rationalize that most people are like this. Most normal people don't really care about politics. Um, some of us do, and some of us also grow tired of it, even though we are interested in it. This person has no financial gain, no clout, no benefit at all as far as coming to talk to me about this. This person actually, and I quote, I hate Donald Trump so much, but I'm going to vote for him anyways because this is a disaster. So, as you can gather, this person is a lady with liberal leanings, is my supposition, right? Because of that comment. But this seems to be the climate in the States. The current climate in the States is that no matter how bad some people perceive Donald Trump to be, he cannot possibly be worse than what it is in power today. What's in power today? It's not Joe Biden. It's not Kamala Harris. Um, it could be Barack Obama, I guess. But who's above him? Plenty of people. Now, there's stories that have come out in the last days, which of course highlight the human quality of the American people. When the government fails, when FEMA fails, and I say fail, and I'm being generous, of course, because all this is by design. It's the regular day people that act like heroes. And that's what certainly has been the case here. Whenever there is difficulty, whenever others in any state are suffering, the American people seem to never disappoint. So in this case, props to everyone who has been helping, crowdfunding, getting medications, food, clothes, all sorts of things to help these people. These normal, regular, everyday people are the true heroes. It's not the podcaster that you listen on Fridays and Tuesdays. It's not the politician that knocks on your door every 4 years, every time he needs a vote. It's certainly not the mainstream media. It's not FEMA. The true heroes of this story are your regular John, your Joan Doe, Jane Doe, those people helping out of their hearts, not with any interest in mind. So, without further ado, let me just give you some shocking data about what happened here, at least with Helene, right? So Helene was a category 4 hurricane, right? Well, Katrina was category 3. So you have an idea, comparison. 125 miles per hour max winds for Katrina, 140 miles per hour max winds for Helene. The diameter of the hurricane, in Katrina's case, was 400 miles. For Helene, it was more than double. It was 822 miles. The wind field, 230 miles for Katrina, and 370 miles for Helene. So this disaster, this weather modification, land grab / human trafficking / voting fraud machine, because you have to understand, whenever the Jesuits, whenever the Freemasons do something, they do several things at the same time. So of course they want you focusing on just one. They don't want you looking. It's like, watch here, don't look over there. It's a classical. So whenever these things are happening, you can be certain there are 4, 5, 6 things, nefarious things happening on the side, as a side quest, as a subplot, whatever you want to name it. This that happened with Helene, and this is that it's happening with Milton. It's 100% man-made. 100%. Let's not make a mistake about it. And most people know it by now, even normal people. Now, there are some things that are very curious. Many things that are very sad at the same time. You have the Joe Biden administration giving billions of dollars, billions, to Ukraine, to Israel, to countries like Congo, Syria, Egypt. Things that you cannot explain. And yet, they offer a $750 loan to those affected by this storm. It's not a gift, it's a loan. Because if you cannot pay it back in a year, guess what? FEMA owns you. So, this multi-purpose disaster, there's several things that are happening at the same time. The plot thickens, as usual. We have the land grab. Just because, people are saying, well, this money is going to the migrants and so on. And there is some of that, of course. But most of all, FEMA is using your taxpayer money to create these disasters, along with whoever is in charge of HARP. I don't know, Black Ops, could be NASA, could be the Department of Weather, who knows. To then appropriate, as in steal, basically, buying this property or just taking it by the force of the law, of maritime law, from the people, because they're obliging these people to leave their houses, their properties. They are not allowing them to take anything with them. Where are these people going to stay? For how long? Where are these people going to work? For how long? And once they solve those two pesky situations, how do they get to fix their house, let alone their city? Bridges collapsed, roads erased, hundreds of dead. But if the information we're receiving is correct, it has to be thousands. There's hundreds of missing people. We can gather that it's been what almost a week. So most of these missing people are sadly, in most cases, you have to gather that they have passed. This is nothing short of genocide. what we're used to by the government. No, it's nothing new. They find they find ways to do it every year. You know, uh, it's just one side of me is thinking, what are the American people waiting for? Another side of me is, well, another side of me knows the answer. Some are waiting for the plan. Some are waiting for a politician to save them. Some are too afraid to think about the possibility nobody's coming to save them. And sadly, my heart goes out to you because I'm not in your position. I don't walk in your shoes. You must have your reasons to feel this way, each one of you. I know how I feel about things, and I know how I think about things, and I'm all about doing. I'm not about waiting. Now, not everyone is in a position to do anything. It's us, the privileged, who have time, who are lucky and blessed enough to have time to do this, to put some kind of a fight. Um, the ones who can actually do something. And I implore retired law enforcement, I implore veterans, I implore retired National Guard, anybody who has capabilities, anybody who has training in America. I implore you to make a decision now on whose side you're going to be sitting on. Whose side are you going to be supporting? Your always lying, ever crafty politicians, your government, the bank cartels, or your families, your neighbors, your blood. It's just, guys, you used to revolt for a tax on a tea. And this that we're seeing is just unfathomable. It's just, it cannot be. It cannot be. I have family in these places. Some people will say, oh, well, this guy is not even living in America. Why should he care? Well, countless of friends that I have there, but of course, it's not only friends, I have family. Family that are the most dear to me. Family that saw me growing up since I was a baby. This is the family I call when I need advice, when I have problems. Excellent people. Teachers, nurses, police officers. That's what I have in the States. Those are my family. So the people responding to this kind of situations, that's who I'm worried about. And as it turns out, FEMA says there's no money. We're going to see some videos just to substantiate all this. I was going to do this live stream about two subjects at the same time, but I figured it's not necessary. We shouldn't get ahead of ourselves. We can talk about the hurricane, about HARP, weather modification today, and talk about the Puff Daddy thing another day. It's not urgent. This is what's urgent right now, in my opinion. Diddy can wait. My testimony about what happened to me when I was a kid, that can wait. In my opinion, this situation with all these people dying and being and missing in action, this is what's urgent. Thank you for watching. If you're here, if you just arrived, I appreciate it. We have important information to disclose about what's happening in America right now, in North Carolina, Tennessee, and all that area. There's this notion that some of the money for FEMA that was supposed to be used for these disasters went to a shelter program for migrants. Now, there is some of that. I'm not, you know how stern I am against illegal migration. It's just because the purpose behind it is the end game, is checkmate. If you want to talk about the great replacement and ecology plan, this is the end game. To erase, to destroy the civilization, the people that represent the most danger. We are a threat to these people. To the ones in power, however you want to call them. Some people want to call them Jesuits, other one wants to call them Satanists. Others may say we're controlled by the Zionists or the Khazars or simply the Jews. But that would be racist. Racist wouldn't be. And we don't want to be persecuted. We certainly don't want Elon Musk to ban us on Twitter, right? But I would say it's a combination of all of them. This person, this source, has been trying to volunteer to go out there and help for a week and hasn't been allowed by the place she works at. I'm not going to say what it is. I'm not going to say if it's a precinct, a police precinct. I'm not going to say it's a hospital. I'm not going to say, I'll leave it to your imagination. This is a person that has been living in the state of North Carolina for over 10 years and has property there, has children, you name it. This person, actually, we spoke for almost 2 hours. This person was telling me, we see the videos that you see on social media. We see what is being said in the media, that nobody's helping, that the government is not helping, that FEMA is not helping. There are some hospitals helping, but not all of them. And there are places in which the help is completely no, there's none. Now, when I was discussing with this person, saying, well, maybe this situation is isolated events, no? Well, isolated events or not, is there an excuse for that to be the case? Is there any valid reason for which the government has billions to send? And this is the beauty of globalism, right? Billions sent away offshore to launder money, human trafficking, organ trafficking, drug trafficking money, from your beloved politicians, from your beloved three-letter agencies, and so on. And there is $750 to be offered as a loan to every person, every family that lost everything. It's just disgusting. And for those of you who might be questioning if this was a weather modification event, I'm reading your comments, by the way. When I lean like this, it's not me being a weirdo. It's me trying, because I need glasses. So it's me trying to read. But yes, 15-minute cities. That's one thing. Now, BlackRock purchased a bunch of land in the area where this storm happened. There's apparently a gigantic deposit of lithium, one of the most valuable chemicals in the world. That's what they use to make your batteries, your cell phone batteries, your laptop batteries, and your electric car batteries. Well, if you have an electric car, I would rather shoot myself in the foot, which is a metaphor. It's basically the same. You have an electric car, you might as well shoot yourself in the foot. Now, hurricanes don't play in mountains. This just doesn't happen. All these people in these areas that were affected by Helene, Tennessee, North Carolina, you know how many of them had insurance for floods? 1%. Why? Because you don't need flood insurance in the mountains. It's like living in freaking, I don't know, New York and having insurance for earthquakes, or living in, I don't know, Egypt and having insurance for blizzards. This just doesn't happen. This situation with a hurricane lifting up the rivers 9 feet tall. This is a thing of nightmares. You know, even if you are a brave guy, once you see nature and its incredible power in front of you, you realize how tiny and vulnerable and fragile you really are. There's nothing stopping that. The rivers that lifted up 9 feet became a battering ram against anything underway, using branches, debris of all kinds, debris from houses, from vehicles, as a battering ram. All these people missing, where do you think they are? I don't even want to think about it. But it is a very sad reality. And as an addendum, I want to say that, well, my source, went to visit Bristol, Tennessee. Everything was washed away. She took some videos. She showed me. It looks like just like an apocalyptic movie. You can barely believe that there was people living there at some point. You can barely believe it. But now that I gave you some introduction to this, some context, let's watch some videos, shall we? Let me show you something that we need to comment on when we come back. Okay.
encourage people to do that. FEMA will just basically verify your address, and then the process should take hold.
Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas sounding the alarm on FEMA funding right after the devastation of Hurricane Helene. Listen.
We are meeting the immediate needs with the money that we have. We are expecting another hurricane hitting. We do not have the funds. FEMA does not have the funds to make it through the season.
This all comes as the Biden-Harris administration
spent over an arm on FEMA funding.
And the federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750 for folks who need immediate needs being met, such as food, baby formula, and the like. And you can apply now for anyone who's watching this who has been affected. There are FEMA personnel who are going door to door to interact personally with folks, especially those who do not have electricity, but also that aid, if you have electricity, can be applied for online. And I encourage people to do that. FEMA will just basically verify your address, and then the process should take hold.
Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas sounding the alarm on FEMA funding right after the devastation of Hurricane Helene. Listen.
We are meeting the immediate needs with the money that we have. We are expecting another hurricane hitting. We do not have the funds. FEMA does not have the funds to make it through the season.
This all comes as the Biden-Harris administration spent over $1 billion from a FEMA program on services for migrants. Attorney General of the great state of Florida, Ashley Moody, joins me now. AG Moody, why does the Biden-Harris administration always seem to help American taxpayers last?
Good morning, Todd. Yeah, everyone should be waking up this morning outraged by that comment. This is not something that has just happened recently, and Florida's been warning about this since this administration took over. Mayorkas has come in like a virus and infected these what need to be healthy, strong, fundamental programs to ensure the stability and safety of Americans in times of disaster. So you heard, they have taken the FEMA Emergency Food and Shelter Program and over time siphoned off hundreds of millions of dollars into basically making it an illegal immigrant resettlement program. And so when you see these states and cities around the nation declaring emergencies, even blue states, because of what this administration has done, encouraging more and more and more, developing programs to encourage more and more and more people to come here, the government, Biden and Harris, are having to fund that on the backs of the American people. And now, right now, in Florida, North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, all of these states are hurting because of this truly natural disaster, not a Biden-Harris-made disaster. They're saying we need more money. And of course they need more money because they've been laundering it from the true intended purpose of this fund that Congress set forth. Laws be damned.
There's two things going on here. We just touched upon the main thing, this horrific prioritization of migrants over American taxpayers. But there's also something else here. What does this say about the Biden-Harris administration's ability to just lead? If they underfunded FEMA this much, and we are not even close to being in the heart of hurricane season, which in reality is August, September, October, and November, A.G. Moody.
Look, this is what President Trump did so well while in office. He could get to a 30,000-foot level, look at the health of American agencies and programs, determine what the problems were, and enlist resources, talented individuals, and a strategy to put Americans and the safety and strength of this nation first. I've seen it work here in Florida with Governor DeSantis. We decide where our problems are, we set forth to fix them, and we make sure not only money, but the strategy and talented personnel are in place to fix them. So, for example, when you have a disaster like this, and you know when there's no electricity, instability, when there's people needing just the basics of life because of a disaster. I was with officers the other night, and we surged our resources in vulnerable areas to looting. We made sure officers knew what to look for when it was in complete darkness. Right. They knew what to charge. We make sure our state attorneys know to hold these people so they don't get back out and start ravaging these communities again. It takes proactive efforts, and you just do not see this out of this administration. And here in the roosters of coming home to roost, look at what's happening right now.
The Florida model
when
really,
we're in the middle of a disaster with this administration at the helm.
You're right. The Florida model really does need to be a 50-state solution. Just want to mention this. You all launched an anti-looting team in response to Hurricane Helene, coming as 8 migrant workers in Tennessee accused of stealing from flooded buildings. You guys do it right down there. I would just add, only a depraved person steals from someone in their time of need. AG Ashley Moody, thank you for your time. Thanks for doing what you're doing down there in Florida.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe.
Welcome back, everyone. And the recovery efforts continue across our area. Patience is understandably running thin for some people who are facing a very uncertain future.
And ABC Action News reporter Michael Paluska is on Treasure Island as people are pleading for something to be done. And now.
I'm Michael Paluska here at Sunset Beach, and we just talked to a gentleman who is practically irate because he's been going in and out of this area. It's a long walk down through these dunes, but no one's being let in that lives here. Just contractors and FEMA and police. And look, you can see these guys are carrying gallons of gasoline. People are trying to lug their ice in. There's people carrying their children. And he was extremely angry that they said FEMA's in control. We can't do anything. But all these items that they're trying to get in and out, like ice, food, check on their properties, take out valuables because of looters, they got to walk it in and out. So this was him trying to get answers from FEMA just a few minutes ago.
You're going to send it to the right people so that they can help the necessary residents. So you can help the residents here. You are not helping the residents. Okay, but why did you stop it 3 days ago when the people need help now?
And another resident we spoke to who's been shuttling things back and forth on her bike also told us she feels as though this area, Sunset Beach, Treasure Island, has been abandoned. What's your message for the state and for the federal government? He wants
Get down here and help us. Get here. We need help here now. We need it now.
And so here's the thing. We just talked to the PIO for Treasure Island. He says they're not trying to make people lug all their stuff back and forth a mile to their homes. They just can't let all these cars through and cause a traffic jam when they're trying to restore the power, fix the water grid, clear debris, and move these tons and tons of sand. So we're still trying to get information about when they might get back in. They do have golf carts now, 4 of them. They're trying to get more. They're shuttling people back and forth. Today is the first day they were able to get that in. But obviously, as you saw, emotions are still running extremely high. People lost everything. We're here on Sunset Beach. Michael Paluska, ABC Action News.
It has a tremendous impact on the comfort level of our own employees to be able to go out there, but it's also demoralizing to all of the first responders that have been out there in their communities helping people, FEMA staff, volunteers, the private sector that are working side by side with local officials to go out and help people. I need to make sure I can get the resources to where they're needed. And when you have this dangerous rhetoric like you're hearing, it creates fear in our own employees. We need to make sure we're getting help to the people who need it.
try my best. I've been trying to make this video for the last 15-20 minutes. And it just blows my mind. You know, the level of depravity some of these people are going to go to. So there is a FEMA man who came on and explained something very serious about the $750 that you guys don't know and that they're not going to tell you. And unless you have a magnifying glass in the contract that they're going to sign during your inspection, you'll never see it. So you're going to hear it from me and hopefully from everybody else who is going to share this shit around. The $750 is a loan. It's not free. They're not giving it to you. It's a loan. And if you don't pay back that $750 loan within a year, they're going to seize your property. So do not take the money. Doesn't matter how hard you feel life is right now. Don't take it. It is a carrot on the string. They're trying to bait you. Don't take it. Do not take it. One thing that you're going to notice, folks, is they're not giving that money to people who have a little bit of money. They're not giving it to people who have jobs. They're giving it to the welfare people who have nothing, who have absolutely nothing. And they're going to take advantage of these people first.
Hey guys, this is an invitation to all the people displaced. I don't have much, but I have 84 acres in eastern Kentucky. I got a place for you to come, to get your bearings, to get ready. If you need to be here permanently, temporarily, it doesn't matter to me. I hope this video gets out. I just had my account banned. I had 105,000 awesome followers, awesome network of people that I lost just like that. And that could happen to every one of us, and it will eventually. It's inevitable. So while we can, we need to use this app. And right now I need your help because I don't have that. I'm relying on you to like this, share this, repost this, get this out to the people in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Virginia, Tennessee. We're here for you. Now, Gary, why does this hit you so hard? Well, it's not just hit me so hard because I'm watching people suffer. I'm in eastern Kentucky, but I was born and raised in Rutherford, North Carolina. Chimney Rock, Lake Lure, that's where I used to spend my childhood at the lake. And all my family's there. My aunts, my uncles, my sisters, every bit of my immediate family live in that Rutherford County. And I don't have much. I don't have resources to go down there and take y'all a bunch of resources. I don't have that financially, but what I do have is this mountain. And I invite anyone that needs a place to come. Like I said, temporarily, permanently, it doesn't matter. But my land is your land. We're Americans and the darkness is all around us, guys. But I'll tell you what, it's time for the light to shine. You're the light. Follow me. I'm not in this for followers. I'm really not. I just hope this video reaches just a few people. I don't care if it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 1,000, 500. It doesn't matter. If you need a place, DM me. If you know someone that needs a place, DM me. Let's get this video out there, guys. We only have each other. We don't have no man's going to come and save us. No political party's going to save us. We, the people, are all we got right now. If you can't look around and see this, then you're blind. So do me a favor, guys, and let's get this video out. Like I said, my account was banned. I had 100,000 followers, awesome network of people. Lost them all. I hope I hope one of you are watching. I hope all of y'all are watching. I really do. Hope this video gets around, because we need each other, guys. More than ever, we need each other right now. And I'm not going to go rant on about certain things and the truth and the things that I could say, because this video probably won't make it for 5 minutes if I do. But if you know someone, or if you're someone that need a place to come, that needs a safe place, a place of refuge, give me a DM, guys. Send this video. And one more thing, God bless this great nation.
As we've been talking about Hurricane Helene and now Hurricane Milton intensifying the way it just did today, there's been a lot of talk about weather modification or manipulation. I have a video I wanted to share with you with all this going on. I've been talking about this for the last day or two, and I found this to be really interesting. This is a climate geoengineer researcher named Dane Wigington, and he claims to have spoke to members of Congress that have districts in the path of Helene that just came through. And they are saying, according to him, that this is not normal. And he is telling them, you're correct. This is manipulated weather via HARP and some other technologies. Listen to this. Tell me what you think. I have one thing to say after you watch the video.
Do so. Could you tell us about some of your recent discussions, conversations, briefings that you've had with political leaders from the states in question that have asked you what you think? First of all, what did they specifically ask you, if you can tell us, and how did they respond to your answers?
Yes, Colonel McGregor, I had an hour conference call yesterday with the representatives and senators from the Carolinas, and we presented the data to them to answer their questions about how this manipulation occurs. They realized this was not a natural event. They're trying to digest the fact that their states were literally under assault from weather modification operations that are clearly connected with DoD operations, and we can speculate again on the agendas and objectives being carried out, but the fact that the storm was manipulated is absolutely inarguable. We know that technology to stop these rotations from even occurring has existed for decades with the manipulation of atmospheric pressure zones. HARP in Alaska is one example many people are familiar with. That's an ionosphere heater. That's a weapon of mass destruction, period. It can cause an electrical chain reaction in the ionosphere, which heats it to extraordinarily high temperatures, which causes the atmosphere to bulge up and down. The downward push creates a high pressure dome that can steer the jet stream. And the same type of manipulation can create low pressure zones. When they have this type of power over the climate system, they can make or break these storms anytime they want. And again, what we see now is storms kept weaker as they're over the ocean because they're harder to steer until they reach the land-based network of transmitters. And then we have, Colonel McGregor, rapid intensification. You've heard that term probably a lot lately, because that's how they manipulate these storms. And again, we have Acapulco last October being the extreme example of rapid intensification. An insignificant low pressure system developed into the strongest Cat 5 hurricane to ever hit that part of the world in less than 24 hours, laid waste to Acapulco. And by the way, Hurricane John, which just hit Acapulco again as Hurricane Helene was wreaking havoc in the Carolinas. Not many people know that. So Acapulco just got dealt another blow. So again, how many agendas and objectives are being carried out when we know they can manipulate these storms and we know they can make or break them anytime they want? And again, I bring up the
We shall propose further
There you have it. So this is the current state of affairs. We have your government killing you. And as I mentioned, well, I don't know if you noticed, but there was a video there of an helicopter rescuing a man. That was former NASCAR driver Greg Biffle. So these are the people that are the real heroes. Obviously, some National Guard members, some FEMA people. I'm sure there's good people working in every place. There has to be at least one or two. But the real heroes of this story are the everyday people, and even these rich people, like this NASCAR driver who has his own helicopter. He went out to save people, to help. He is an A+ in my book. Now, as I mentioned before, these people tend to do several things at the same time, or they do one thing with several purposes. So this, we know that this situation that they're doing with weather modification warfare, it's a war against you and your property and your peace of mind, has several objectives. Okay? So one of them, of course, is the ritualistic aspect of it. The energy harvested for every person they murder, that's what objective they have, of course. There's a political aspect to it, obviously, in which there's two things that's happening here. They are pushing every person in the middle, every person that is neutral, to vote for Trump. The way this government is fucking up, screwing up just before the elections, it's insane. And if you add this to what they have done with the border, with Afghanistan, with a number of things, with Ukraine, if you add the fact that Kamala Harris was a frequent guest at the Diddy parties in the 90s, and I don't know if later on, but we know she was there in the 90s when she was a sugar baby, of course. Not that she isn't anymore, but she doesn't. I mean, it's not like she ever had the looks for it. I'll be honest. So that's a political aspect of this. It seems like they're pushing people to vote for Trump for whatever reason that is. Some people will say this is to show you how bad the left is, the communists are. I don't really believe that, but could be. I don't know everything. The other political aspect of this is that all these are red states. Where this happened, Trump barely won North Carolina in the last election. So how are these people going to vote if they don't even have a home, if they need to get away? They're going to go and stay in some other state with family or something like that. What are they going to do? Where are they going to vote? And most of these people would vote Trump. That's no secret. That's just facts. So besides those two aspects, we have the land grab aspect. They want to explode. They want to get to that lithium, to those quartz. Tons of profit to be made there by grabbing the land. Just go and ask BlackRock, who made a great investment in the area. Of course, the genocidal aspect is always there. Killing people is just the cherry on top for these people. It's not like we used to think back when we were innocent, that the government makes this hard decisions and sometimes decides to sacrifice a soldier or a citizen for the greater good. It ain't like that, baby. It ain't like that. They thrive on murdering people. So we have four aspects there. Fifth aspect, 15-minute cities. They want to corral all these people that are homeless now. And they're going to offer they're going to offer a solution for them. A solution they're not going to like in the long run. Some people cannot afford to say no to those $750. Some people cannot afford it. This is the rape of America, just like we're witnessing here in Europe, both with the climate warfare and the illegal migration. This foreign armies invading us, causing havoc, abusing our hospitality, harassing our women, our children, our elderly, and stuff like that. Now, the sixth aspect, and this is something very curious that my source told me, that, well, reassured me about, is the human trafficking aspect. Every time there is a disaster of this magnitude, you can bet there's people being trafficked, victims, survivors, you name it. Have you forgotten about Haiti, Puerto Rico, Katrina even? And as it turns out, there is a strike on one of the biggest ports in America, in which most of the produce comes in, part of the supply chain for food and stuff like that. So we have this disaster which demands solutions, demands the free traffic, the free circulation of food, clothes, medicines, so on, personnel, people. People need to flow during emergencies, be able to move around. We have the government not lending helicopters. Apparently, the biggest military in the world has run out of airplanes and helicopters to help in this emergency. As per my source, well, I repeat, it's not conservative. It's not political. It's not a political person, but it's a political. It's a person that would lean to vote for Kamala. Let's put it like that. And this person has been questioning everything in the last weeks, thanks to this situation. This person told me in confidence, I'm going to vote for Trump. I don't like him. I hate him, but I will vote for him. Because we've been eating since Biden came in 2020. The financial situation, the loans that she has, the percentage that she needs to pay. She recently had a situation, so had to reappraise a loan, and it was reappraised at a double rate. So instead of 3.5%, I believe it's like 8%. This is the situation for many people, not only my source. This person is saying, hey, they're not letting us go there. They're not letting us go out there. We're trying to volunteer, me and others, and there's no news about that. People are still missing. People are still trapped. I suppose some people are still trapped and managed to survive somehow. These people need to be rescued. These people who lost their loved ones, they need to know where they are. They need to find out as soon as possible. This is a disaster. And listen, we have had situations with way more dead people. But, I don't like to see these situations and measure them by how many people died. Even if it's one person, it's one too many. And, it is at these times that I would advise people to be close to the Lord, to be close to the Lord Jesus Christ. And that's the only thing that will never fail you. The government will fail you. Your politicians will fail you. Your boss will fail you. People will fail you. People will hurt you. You will fail yourself. But Jesus Christ won't fail you. I'll tell you that. And I can assure you that. It's just, appalling that a lot of us in this so-called truth-seeking movements, truth-seeking platforms, and whatever you want to call it, Some people are more focused on politics rather than the spiritual war we are at. And as I grow older and as I relate myself to people who think differently, for example, I have people in my family who I get along with who are not conservatives. They are actually, well, I have some anarchists, I have some liberals, I have conservatives too, but I talk with everyone. And as I've said to them, I've learned in the last years that to have problems with people we love over politics and stuff like that is just the dumbest thing you can do. And it goes for you, it goes for them. Obviously, sometimes it's them who decide to cast you aside. And in those cases, there's not much you can do. But of course, I will never go and smash people with facts if they ask me to stop. I tell my family, hey guys, if you want to know what's going on, if you want me to explain you what I feel is going on, I'll do it anytime you want. I'm not just going to be knocking on your window and your door and trying to do it every day. Life is too busy as it is, too. And I've tried this. We've all tried to convince other people to see things differently. Me, personally, I don't try to convince them to vote conservative or anything like that. I try to convince them to open their eyes, to realize that the world they think they live in is a lie, and that mostly every single person they see on television is a liar and a murderer. At this point, if you're an accessory to all this genocide, you're a murderer. Most of us have tried to convince our family members to look at things in a certain way, in a different way. We have lost some. We have lost friends. I tried to convince my father. I even made a documentary to try to convince him not to take the jab. He did. I saw him regretting it at the end. And what can you do? I try when people are sad and they are questioning themselves because, I lost this family member. I couldn't convince them on time, or I lost this friend. I couldn't present the evidence properly so they wouldn't get the jab. I tell them, hey, man, don't be like that. Don't get sad. I made a documentary to try and save my family. And every single one of them took the vaccine. So imagine, this is a classic cliche in life, I guess, in which in social media I have this wonderful opportunity to influence people for good. I try to influence people for them to open their minds, to question everything, to do their own research, to avoid the cult of personality, to try to go back to Jesus Christ and Christianity, to protect the homeland, to protect the culture, to protect the family. That's what I try to do every day. And in my house, I can barely convince my cat, to do something I want her to do. So, if you're one of those who feels a bit heavy on the shoulders because you couldn't convince those loved ones of saving their own lives, don't feel bad. We're all there. Even those of us who are, we have some kind of reputation in this movement, even though we are less and less, the real ones at least, not the cointel frauds. What else did my source said? I had bunch of notes here. Let me see. Well, she said that the general climate at the place she works at, this could be police precinct, a hospital, military base. Can I tell you? Everyone, almost every single person who is neutral is fired up to go on vote on November 5th for Donald Trump. And, I don't support Donald Trump per se. I don't support any politician because I just don't. I put my faith in Christ, not in politicians. But certainly, things with Trump were way better. There's no mystery there. And, at some point, you have to also think that a conservative government has less space, less ways of disrupting things. A conservative government has to do things a certain way, or at least fake it good enough to satisfy their base. So, of course, we're pushing for Trump. We hope the guy wins. I don't vote, and I don't invest myself in it. I don't give my I don't how do you say this? Because when you vote, it's like you're giving yourself away to their game, right? You're giving your stamp of approval. Some people say that if you don't vote, you cannot complain. Other people think the opposite. If you vote, you cannot complain because you are participating in the system, in the best system. And I already told people my position. My position is that we're going to see what happens. I do believe that we still need to see 4 years of Trump, and we'll need to see how that goes. I will remain vigilant. I have decided not to attack Q or these theories during election time, as to not interfere and not make it seem like we're helping the communists or the globalists, because that's not the case. Politically, at least on paper, we align with almost everything Trump aligns for, except two big things that are the ones that I disagree with him the most. Abortion. It seems like they think it should be up for the state. I think abortion is murder and it should be illegal. And number two, supporting that Zionist, genocidal, blackmailer state of Israel. The United States' greatest ally, supposedly, right? And yet, they have been blackmailing the American government for decades. What do you think Jeffrey Epstein was into? He was a pedophile, sure. They enjoyed their own little rituals and stuff. Genetic experimentation, eugenics. But there was also a blackmail Mossad aspect to it. Now, as for those of you guys, like Teresa, I see your comment on YouTube. Nothing is that appears. Trump is on a mission from God and for humanity against the evildoers and saving the children. If you want to believe that, go ahead, Teresa. You don't need to convince me. I'm not. You're gonna waste your time. If you want to believe in that, if you want to put your eggs in that basket, go ahead. I'm telling you, I don't care. For me, what's important is that I'm with Jesus Christ, and that's it. And that I have my family around me, and that I'm doing the best I can to protect them and to provide for them. trying to prepare for whatever comes, or prepare for the worst even, you know. I have some tribute. Okay, we have free will for a reason. You have the free will to support any ideal, any theory that you want. I'm not here to rain on your parade. I'm not here to tell you I know everything. I don't. I know some things, you know. I know what keeps me alive, what keeps me happy, what keeps me motivated, and it ain't politics. It ain't. I am focused on more of the spiritual realm, and what can I do personally to change things, even if it's doing a nice gesture for someone once a day, for a stranger. That's what I focus on, because that's what I can control. I cannot control what Trump does. I cannot control what any politician does. All of us have our intuition. All of us have that gut feeling, you know, that sixth sense, you know. My gut feeling has never failed me, and perhaps is a similar case for some of you. What I'm here to tell you is that in moments like this, where people are dying and people are losing everything, is when we should try to take all the spotlight away from the political divide, and also from the petty distractions, things that cannot be solved now, and try to, you know, bring attention to what's going on with this, try to help however we can, and, you know, leave the politics aside, leave the shallow gossip aside. This takes the priority. So that's why I changed the plans and tried to make this podcast exclusively about the current weather modification war that is being set against us. This is not only happening in America. There was a huge fires 2 weeks ago here in Portugal, in the north, where it's supposed to be cold. And here in the south, you know, we were having 40 Celsius, 40 degrees Celsius days. Beautiful to go to the pool on the beach. No fires. We saw what happened in Lahaina, in Maui, Hawaii. We saw what happened in Australia years ago. We saw what happened in Paradise, California years ago. This has been going on for a while, and they seem to be getting better at it. That's the worst part. Earthquakes, hurricanes, blizzards, storms, fires, you name it. How do you protect from that? Cannot tell you. Cannot tell you. The sad part is that in some way, technology has advanced to a degree that we can barely put up a fight nowadays. If we would have foreseen this situation, I don't know, 5 decades ago even, we might have had a fighting chance, like a legit fighting chance to fight these people out and put them out on the streets, put them in jail, put them in the guillotine where they belong. Bunch of kid diddlers, traffickers, liars, scammers, scum of the earth. You know. I get fired up with these things, and I apologize for cursing. I think I cursed once or twice already. I shouldn't do that on camera. You never know who's watching. But this is too much. The situation of the world. I really hope you guys who say trust the plan and things are gonna be better. I hope you guys are right. You know, I'll be the first one to say, hey, woof, that's a relief. Thank God you guys were right. You know, but if you're wrong, I ain't gonna get caught with my hands in my pockets. So that's it. I think we're gonna call it a day for today. I'm gonna try to do 3 live streams per week, short ones, 1 hour, 1 hour and a half. You know, sometimes we're doing like a heavy, deep dive or something like that. We might take a bit longer, but I don't think I have much that I wanted to touch base on today. Let me check if I have here something that I wanted to show you. My office is great nowadays. Now I have 3 monitors, so you know I can see to a bunch. I can see a bunch of information at the same time. It's almost professional. We're getting there. Well, there's some things here that everyone should see, but I don't think most people would like it. Okay, I have that saved for later. So there is, well, I should save that for the DD episode that I'm going to do way later. But for now, I'm going to leave you with the new intro of Louder Than Love 9. It's supposed to come out this weekend. I'm going to try to put out the last episodes really quick, perhaps every 2 weeks, because we need to move on and it's been delayed enough. Thank you, Debbie. I'm in Portugal, so if you're in the States, I'm like 7 hours ahead of you or more. Right now, here it's 2 a.m. My wife is there working. She's an interpreter, English Portuguese. So her schedule fluctuates, and I fluctuate my schedule to accommodate hers. That's what we do. I usually do it at 12:30 my time. If there's no technical issues, we usually start on time. As of late, Rumble Studios have been malfunctioning. They replied to my email really quick, explaining why it wasn't working. But usually starts at this time. If you follow me on Telegram, if you follow me on Twitter, I usually announce them there. I always announce everything on Telegram. Telegram is my platform to go because it's the one that, well, they deleted my account a week ago and I lost a bunch of things, good things. But I'm sorry, I'm just reading the comments. I get distracted very easily. Telegram is still the platform to use. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, forget about it. Telegram and Rumble, for me, are the platforms that allow us to talk more freely. And those are the platforms I intend to focus on. If you are on Telegram, great. You will be updated about everything we do. If you're not, please go and subscribe. Total disclosure. That's the actual username of the channel. Total Disclosure 1 is the username of the chat, and I think I am Total Disclosure 3. That's my personal Telegram. So, if you get some scammers trying to portray themselves as they are me, it's not me. Register to the website. We need you. We have members that are very happy with the service, with the content we have there. If you can afford it, it's just $5 a month. $5 a month, a cup of coffee. Some people ask, oh, but what difference would it make if I subscribe to this guy's website for $5 a month? If 200 people did it, instead of asking what difference would it make, that would secure our job for the time to come. So, we are on the fence. We're not entirely self-sufficient as far as a media company goes. We need to pay for a rehash for the website. We need to pay for different updates, and we can only do that with your help. The expenses of the website are up to $5,000 a year, just for you to have an idea, if not more. I'm just being conservative. If I need to hire people to do website work and stuff, obviously that doubles. So go ahead, totaldisclosure.net, register your account, and then choose your membership. So you can, that's awesome, Debbie. If you need help, just ask me and I'll help you on Telegram. And any of you, if you guys need help with the website, if you have any questions about where to find this or that, send me an email, send me a live chat. I reply to all of them. You can also send me a direct message on Telegram. I don't bite. You know, I know sometimes I react a bit spicy with people who are trolling and stuff like that, but most of the time I'm a sweet guy. Most of the time. So I'll leave you with the intro for the new film. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and may God bless you always, to all of you and your loved ones.
Don't you love that song? take. No time.